Double up, double up.
All right.
Double up, double up, double
Hello
up.
and welcome to episode 66 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. I'm your co-host, Juan Martinez. And to my left or to my right, I was just there at your house, Jacques. How did I get here? What?
I know you were just here stealing things as usual, per usual, stealing things. What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. Yeah, we got a good show lined up for you today. Couple of things that are pretty obscure today. This is going to be a very sneakerhead-ish sort of episode. So if you're not like knee deep in the sneaker world, this is probably not going to be for you. But if you're sneaker world curious, then this might be a good episode for you to listen to. I feel like there's going to be a little history and little things dropped in this one. So without further ado, I'll pass it off to my main man Juan to get things started.
All right, cool. So appreciate that. So before we get into all of that, I was actually at your residence, your palatial estate earlier today. I did.
Strange choice of words, but yes, you were here.
And in your choice of words, I performed the purge, basically, at your place.
A little bit. And a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. So every so often I will come by the Slade palatial guarded, gated house,
very strange word
mansion, choice. Palatial estate, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's the rich manor. That's a word that we don't see anymore, right? Manor. Yeah. So let's go with that. The Slade Manor. The Slade Manor. That has a nice ring to it if you really think about it,
Yeah, just very rich choice of words. Not sure they're accurate in any way, shape, or form.
Considering what I went home with, I would say rich is a pretty good word. So yes, I was there.
I'll say blessed. Rich, I don't know if rich is the word.
Yes. Yeah. So every once in a while, I will stop by Jacques' house and just go pick up some things. Stuff that he doesn't need, stuff that he does not really, just doesn't really have a use for anymore, shall we say. Let's just put it this way.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Through the years, we get sent stuff. I experienced basically what Jacques experiences to this day. I know the feeling of having a lot of stuff. And really, at the end of the day, you don't know what to do with that stuff because it's a lot of stuff. So what ends up happening is that stuff gets sent elsewhere. And let's just say that I have, friends, family that have grown accustomed. I don't know why this happened. Accustomed.
Oh, wow.
To Juan, I'll refer to myself in the third person, as the provider of said stuff. And I'm like, but I don't do that stuff thing anymore. But Jacques Slade does. And, sometimes he has stuff. And sometimes said stuff. Yes, sometimes. Not a lot of times, but, every so often. So I'll just, swing by the house. And I'll be like, hey, good sir, do you have stuff? And you'll say, yes, I have stuff.
Yes, I do have stuff, and you can have said stuff.
You can have said. Please take said stuff.
Take said stuff. Yes,
because I don't know what to do with said stuff. So stuff gets and that is the distribution chain is brand send stuff.
Chain.
Brand send stuff to Jacques or Juan back in the days, and then some of the stuff gets funneled to Juan. And then Juan funnels stuff to people, not necessarily here in America. Sometimes it gets shipped over to other places, but who knows? Yeah. It just just mysteriously appears like 3,000 miles across the sea, Pacific. So,
and I'm all for it. I mean, to be fair, brands send stuff sometimes, and sometimes you use it and you're finished with it, and instead of just giving it to Goodwill, you give it to a friend, or there's stuff that's new that you're probably not going to get a chance to wear, or there's someone that will use it better than you would use it. And so some of that stuff you try and take care of other people and make sure other people are blessed. Both you and I have had the opportunity to get tons and tons of things, some things that we will never use and that would just sit and rot, and there's no point in just letting them sit and rot when we can take care of somebody else.
Exactly. And that's we make fun of it. We basically make jokes about it, but at the same time, it's nice to be that person, right? It's better to be in that position where you're like, you're the giver of stuff, you're the provider of stuff.
Yes.
Because,
Yep.
sometimes, and, I'm not saying like we have people who are in our lives who are like that, but, it's tough to be that person who's like asking for the stuff. So,
Yeah.
it's better to be that in a position. And then, and it's great. It's a great feeling to know, like, and the reality is there's so much stuff. And all of this stuff does just end up like rotting or just going to somewhere that no one's ever going to use it, right? Like that's kind of like the funny thing about like sometimes with sneakers and collecting and all that stuff is like you get it
Yeah.
and you have that adrenaline rush of like, that what is it, that high of getting it initially. And then afterwards you're like, now what? Now what am I going to do
Now
with
what?
this?
Yep.
And that's the
There's
reality
a
of
lot
like,
of that.
for the many years that I did this job, it was very cool. Every time I would see, like, open my door and I'd be like, oh, package. And
Yep.
then you'd be like, oh, what's inside? What's inside? It doesn't matter, right? Like, there's always that sense of excitement of like what's inside, especially if they, the brand didn't tell you something was coming, right? And then you're like, open it and
Yes.
you're like, these are so cool. Sneaker, whatever, Jordan, New Balance, Adidas,
Yep.
whatever. And you're like, but then after that initial high wears off, you're like, okay, what am I doing with this? Because this is on top of the other stuff that had shown up at the house previously, the past couple of days, past couple of weeks, so and so. And
Yeah.
I always tell people, if I had never given away any of my stuff, I could have probably filled my garage twice over, 2-car garage twice over, probably.
Yeah.
And the reality is, what would I do with it? Like there's people who have like these huge collections and it's just not just sitting there, just rotting and not really meant for just whatever. What is it good for, right? You just go in there and you're like, oh, you look at it and then you're done with it. Like, I understand your case, right? Like, you keep some of the stuff because, for
Because I
academic
work in this
purposes, whether you need it
space.
for like a video for,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. But if you
Yep.
didn't have any use for it, dude, that storage unit would be like, you wouldn't have a storage unit.
I wouldn't have a storage unit. I absolutely would not have a
Exactly.
storage unit. If I didn't do this as a business, I wouldn't have a storage unit. I mean, I'm essentially paying, a couple $100 a month just to have a storage unit. So it's got to be a part of the business. If the
Yeah,
business stops, if I stop doing this, then that storage unit is going away and I'm getting rid of 99% of that stuff. 99% of the stuff in
exactly.
this room is going to go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because at the end of the day, like, and I think that's the part that like a lot of, your fans or, when I had, people who knew who I was, that's the part that I realized like, oh, it's so cool to have all of this stuff. And it's like, yes, admittedly, it is
Yes.
cool when when these things do happen. But the other side of it is like, you have this sense of like paralysis where you're like, I don't know what to do with this stuff. And it's a good
I
problem to
don't know
have.
what
I'm
to
not
do
saying
with
it's
it.
not a good,
Yeah.
it's not, I'm not saying it's not a good problem to have, but it's at the end of the day, it's still a problem. It's like, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
like, you're like, oh, so the way you solve that is just by giving it away, handing it off to someone who will use it.
Who
Someone who
actually
will
will
give it
use it.
purpose.
Yep.
It's
Yep.
just, and you see, and I will, get messages. And one of the reasons I still have Facebook, because Facebook can go in, it's a rotting corpse of a place in a hellscape. But I still keep my account, because a lot of people, family use Messenger and they'll send me, they'll tell me like, oh, I love the thing that you sent. And
Oh,
I'll be like,
interesting.
I'm not sure which one it is. I'm not, whatever it is, but sometimes they'll tell me like, oh, I love it and all this stuff. And don't forget, it's Christmas next year. And I'm like,
Oh, wow. Don't forget.
yeah.
That's
But,
crazy.
at the same time, like, I'd rather be that person, I'd rather be that person who's
Yeah.
like sending stuff than be the person
No,
who's
I
like,
get it.
hey, don't
I get
forget
it.
about me. Don't forget about me, that kind of thing. Right. So, yeah, stuff. It's a lot of stuff.
Stuff.
Stuff
The
just keeps.
craziest part about that story is that your family communicates via Facebook Messenger.
Yeah.
That was not, I would have not pulled that one out. I would have thought WhatsApp, because it feels like everybody
Well,
outside of the
Viber.
US uses WhatsApp. Oh,
Viber's the
Viber.
Filipino one. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So WhatsApp is,
Ah.
yeah, I don't have a lot of like people who use WhatsApp, but I have a lot of people who either use Facebook Messenger or no, Viber. That's more of like the Filipinos messaging app of choice is Viber.
Ah.
Uh sometimes I'll get like random notifications of like so and so, like random PR person from like back in the days. I'll be like, oh, they joined Viber. I'm like, oh, I haven't talked to this person in forever, and they just joined Viber. I'm like, it's probably for business reasons, but it's always funny to see
Yeah,
someone you haven't
yeah.
talked to forever just join Viber. You're like, oh, do you know any Asian people?
That's
That's kind
funny.
of how it usually works.
Yeah, for me, it's just WhatsApp and
Yep.
iMessage. I don't really have anything else.
It's for the best. Like the less you have, the better, really. I mean, for me, same thing. It's mostly iMessage. And then I will always pick on the ones with the green bubbles. To this day, I'm still one of those people who are like, oh, green bubbles. That's cute.
Huh.
That's
I guess
nice.
I technically have Facebook Messenger, though. I have Facebook on my phone. I don't use it very often, but I have it on there. I mean, I use Facebook now mostly for Facebook Marketplace. If I'm looking
Oh,
for something like
sure.
random, like a tool or something that I don't have, like I'll go on there and look and see if somebody has that tool. Um,
That
but yeah, I don't really use it outside of. I don't use it
I
Facebook really for anything
I
else.
haven't used Facebook on a regular basis since what, 2010 maybe. Like it has not been an ongoing concern. I don't even have the app on my phone. I just have Messenger. So, and it's funny every
Oh
time I
yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah. So it's just there for that. And then the yearly, like, opening it up during my birthday just so I can like thank people, because they know it's my
Ah,
birthday. That's the once a year. Like I'll go check in and be like, oh, hey, thank you. Thank you, auntie. Thank you, cousin. Thank you, somebody. Thank you, high school person I don't never talked to in high school, but somehow we're Facebook friends because
yeah.
I guess we all joined up in the same, high
At the
school
same time,
group. Yeah.
yeah.
So, thanks. Appreciate it. I'll see you next
Yeah,
year.
I mean, I should probably look at it more just because I know there's stuff on there that you don't see really anywhere else. Like, I think Instagram has gotten a lot of us locked up. So
Sure.
I gotta start spreading my wings over. I mean, I post everything I post, I put over on Facebook.
Right.
Um, but I don't usually hang out over there, and then maybe I need to start hanging out more. So I can
I
be
would advise
radical.
not to
I can
unless
get
you want to be disappointed by said high school friends you haven't talked to, because you'll see their views on the world, and you're like, oh, that's
Oh,
you certainly have a take on things. I hope your kids are okay and properly vaccinated. I'll just say that much.
wow. Okay. All right. Let's moving on.
Let's move
Moving
on.
on.
Moving on. Moving on. We promised a obscure sneakerhead centric episode, so we'll get to that actually.
Yeah.
So apologies for the rambling intro, but I figure stuff's interesting. So let's
Yeah,
get
it
into
was
the
interesting.
actual. Yeah, yeah, totally. Facebook, no, not so much. Anyway, so let's move on to the show, Jacques. Jaylen Brown, the man behind 741 Performance,
Yes.
recently was pictured in a tunnel walk with some interesting footwear. And it turns out it is a 3D printed basketball shoe in
Mhm.
collaboration with Zellerfeld, who is known for their 3D printed sneakers. They recently also, I believe, partnered up with a Two Chainz son, Halo,
Oh, I didn't see
and
that.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So they are claiming it is the youngest athlete to ever have a signature shoe because I believe Halo's like 10 years old, and they created the Halo 1 by Zellerfeld, of course. But they're counting that
Oh.
they, I guess, in their press releases or socials, whatever, they're claiming this is the youngest athlete to ever have a signature shoe. And sure, I guess on a technical basis, that counts.
Yeah.
But okay, sure, why not? I mean, who are we to spoil a child's fun? Like, why be
Right.
that guy, right? Why be that person, right? Let the kid enjoy the moment. Let him have this, interesting footnote in sneaker history. If he is technically the
Yeah.
youngest, because I don't know who knows. Like, someone will probably beat this record. Like now, the 3D printed things are becoming more and more commonplace. But anyways, getting back to the Jaylen Brown of it all, he did wear it during. I mean, he didn't wear it. He was holding it during the tunnel walk, and he
Mhm.
talked about it like, this is more of like a proof of concept. I believe he actually hasn't worn it in the game. He actually went back to his like rovers during the game. I believe it was against the Lakers
Mhm.
last week. But he is thinking about these kinds of things. He mentioned like, sneaker technology, sneaker production has not moved up with like the current needs of basketball athletes, considering how like pace of play is so much different compared to like the 80s and 90s and even the 2000s. So he's looking at
Hmm.
other avenues. And one of those might be 3D printed sneakers. Now, I guess my concern at the moment is that this feels like the early days of like self-automated cars where like you see the Waymos, you see these cars and you're like, "Oh, this is interesting. I don't know if I would
Hmm.
actually step foot in them yet, but
Right.
I sense that this is inevitably the future. We are going to get to a point where self-driving cars are going to be quote unquote whatever, safe enough or you know enough that people will be convinced to actually ride in them. We are still
Hmm.
in these early days where I don't think a majority of people would be trusting of getting into a
Right.
self-driving car. So I feel like this is also the similar thing where Jaylen Brown is kind of like the test pilot, where the
Hmm.
moment he does wear these Zellerfeld 3D printed basketball shoes, he's kind of be like the pioneer, but also everyone's going to be scared to death of him wearing these shoes because they're going to be like, how are these going to hold up in a game? Like
In a game, yeah.
they're already lost Jason Tatum. Could you imagine the fervor, the insanity if Jalen were to, and you hope it never happens. I'm just gonna knock on wood right now. You hope it never happens, but gosh, you hope like the day that Jalen decides to put these on the court, he's safe. I mean, we want him to be safe anyways,
Yeah.
but
Right.
you know, this is like test pilot days. This is like the early days of self-driving shoes. So like 3D printed sneakers on the basketball court. Ooh, good luck, man. And I hope I wish you well.
Yeah. So when I think about 3D printed shoes, I don't think of them from a performance angle.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand and what I've been told, these 3D printed shoes are really expensive to make and they can't do them at scale quite yet.
Yeah.
And so with the prices that we've seen for some of these, from what I understand, again, I could revisit this. I'd have to have that conversation again. That there, this is not a viable business model in its current form.
Right.
I'm not, yeah, again, I'm not sure about, I don't know a lot about the business specifically, but I do like what they do with the shoes. I just don't ever think of them from a performance lens. I always think of them through a casual lens. Like I don't even think of them in a like hiking boot, let's get out and hike sort of lens. I strictly look at them as a novelty, something that you can wear that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't expect any performance out of 3D printed shoes. So even the ones that Jalen has, I'm going to assume that they're not playable, and that's why he didn't wear them in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, and he did say that it's not playable. Like I said, it's a proof of concept, but he's thinking about it.
Yeah.
I'm sure he's going to be testing it, and just, keep wearing it until he gets to a point where he feels safe in it. And who knows if it ever actually happens? Maybe this is just, him just being able to say that I'm doing the 4D chess of like looking at
Yeah.
something different,
Yeah.
right? Like this could all just be for marketing purposes. Like this is basically 741's lane is to look at everything differently. Even if it doesn't work out, then he'll just try something else. But yeah, man, like you're right. I don't think of 3D printed sneakers in any lane besides lifestyle.
Yep.
When I think, I've come to your house and I've seen those 3D printed sneakers and I've tried them on and I'm like, this is good for walking. I cannot ever
Yep.
imagine going for a run in them. I cannot ever imagine doing anything remotely athletic in them. For now, who knows? Like
Right.
maybe eventually we'll get to a point where, it gets to a point where it's affordable, it's sustainable, and it'll hold up through the rigors of performance. I just like I said, but I just feel like we're still in the very, 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 very early days where people
Hmm.
are going to be freaked out at anybody who puts them on and tries them in any athletic competition and gets hurt in them. Like I feel like any time someone gets hurt in them is going to set it back, like the movement. Because I feel like the same thing with self-driving cars. Like we'll get to a point where we will all feel fine in them, but for right
Hmm.
now, it's like every setback is gonna take it back to like the beginning. So they have to keep moving forward, keep moving. So same thing with these 3D printed sneakers for running. Like I don't I can't imagine any professional Olympic level type of runner will put on 3D printed 3D printed runners anytime soon. But the moment someone does and they don't, either they get hurt or they don't perform well, it's going to set the movement back. So I just wonder, like, the viability of this at the moment and whether we'll see it within the next 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 years. Who knows how this will
Yeah.
last. We'll get there, but it's just not now. So Jaylen, he's very much like the forward thinker, the free thinker, whatever you want to call it. And I respect it, but at the same time, like, I don't know if you're going to get anybody on board in this anytime soon.
Yeah, I think the path that I see forward for Zellerfeld is to do 3D printed uppers and let the traditional shoe manufacturers do the outsole, the midsole, and the outsole.
Sure.
I think they have a viable situation there. Just because the more like I think about trying to play in one of these shoes, like the it's almost like the chemical makeup of the shoes is not strong enough. The stability and durability of the shoes. If you play with these outside, I feel like they're just going to fall apart after a while because
Yeah.
people are going to be playing on concrete.
Mhm.
So I like the idea of a 3D printed basketball shoe. My ultimate like sneaker dream, quote unquote, is for a brand to be able to scan your foot and make you the perfect shoe.
Mhm.
3D printing, I think, is the closest thing that we have to that. We thought it was going to be Flyknit, where the fibers they would like lay them on your foot and just wet and like they would be able to mold the Flyknit to your foot. We thought that was the angle, but this 3D printing feels more appropriate for something like that, like being able to create a proper mold
Yeah.
of your foot. So we'll see what happens. Like I'm excited that they're trying new things and that they're pushing the boundaries of what's possible with 3D. I think that's all very much commendable and it's having an impact on the market. I think it's going to spread and you'll start seeing other brands pop up that do this sort of 3D manufacturing or 3D printing to create
Yeah.
footwear. I think we'll see this more and I think we'll see it integrated more into different brands. And how
Mhm.
that implementation looks, we don't know yet. It could be for a midsole, could be. I guess you could do it for an outsole, but I feel like just using it as an outsole would just get it destroyed unless after it's being 3D printed, they're putting some rubber on the bottom.
Yeah.
But I'm impressed by it. I love the shapes that they're able to do. They're not exactly one to one like with the Air Max stuff. It was a
Mhm.
little weird looking. I think they thought of it through like a futuristic lens. And I'm not sure I was sold on that concept that it's futuristic, but the thought of using a 3D printer to make a shoe that hopefully will be custom for each person that buys a pair to their foot, that's incredible.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. Now, we've seen it before though. Like Adidas has tried, putting 3D printed like tooling. What is it, like the Ultra 4D?
Yeah.
They tried it, and I
Yeah.
believe I remember Under Armour sending me like a pair. Like they claimed it was like the first time that anybody had tried tooling with, like, 3D printed. I wonder how those hold up now.
Mm.
Whether they stand the test of time and everything, because it didn't seem like it caught on. Maybe it's because the tech
No.
wasn't there, or people just didn't catch on. But I feel like they would have kept iterating on it if there was some success, right? They would have kept iterating and
Yeah.
trying,
Yep.
to keep going. But
Exactly.
it seems like because it didn't work out, like I said, early days. We are still in the early days of 3D printed technology becoming more than just lifestyle, 3D
Yep.
printed sneakers more than just lifestyle. So yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. But shout out to Jaylen. He's always gonna try new things to get people talking, and let's just say mission accomplished. Shout out
Which
to
is
Jaylen
great.
for
Yeah.
that
And
one.
I'm not mad at him. I'm not mad at him. I love it. Keep pushing. Like this is
Exactly.
like I feel like this is what we need. Like we need
Hmm.
someone that's going to push the boundaries of what sneakers look like, and he's doing that, and I'm all for it.
Yeah, totally. All right, so moving on to our next thing, Jacques. Jerry Lorenzo and Adidas. I feel like we are at the end of days. Like everybody seems to be like, counting down the days, or the clock is ticking, whatever metaphor you want to use, in terms of like
Yeah,
just waiting for the end of this deal to finally come to pass. But before that, we are getting the Adidas Fear of God 3 basketball, our Fear of God basketball 3. I don't even know what you want to call it. I guess he wore them during a Bulls game. I guess he was like courtside at a Bulls game, and he revealed it
Hmm.
there. I gotta say, man, I like it. Like, I like it as a standalone Adidas product. It doesn't necessarily even have to be Fear of God. Like, if I look at it, if you had told me this is like the latest Adidas, whatever you want to call it, basketball shoe or lifestyle shoe, I'd be
Hmm.
like, cool. When is it coming out? How much is it? And when can I get it on sale? Is kind of what I'm getting at. Now,
Ah,
but because it's Fear of God, of course, it's going to get people talking. I don't know. I don't know what the reaction of it is online, but I feel like they could have made the greatest basketball shoe of all time, and people would still be like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true.
it's it seems like it's a very too little, too late. For Jerry and Adidas. I feel like the energy has been sucked out of the room, and it's just people are just kind of going through the motions now and trying to just get this over with. I will say though, once these things hit the clearance racks or they go to like Adidas outlet stores, your boy's gonna be there. Your boy's gonna be there.
Yeah, I think I'll be there too. I really like these. They remind me of an updated Sobakov, like a more modern Sobakov that Adidas did a few years ago.
Hmm.
But I like it. I like the way it looks. I like the that greenish slash gray color. I'm not as much as a fan of like the tan colorway that he wore to the game, but like
Hmm.
that greenish gray color really pops to me, and I'd 100% get those. I
I look at these, Fear of Gods all together lined up, and it's like that's not a bad three sneaker output
Not
from
bad at
Jerry.
all.
No, it's
Not at all.
actually you look at it and you're like, this might be some of the best. I'm not gonna say it's the best work Adidas has ever had in terms of like just three straight signature, like whatever signature shoes, whatever you want to call it. But it's a pretty good
Hmm.
run. And
Oh
it's
yeah.
a
Oh,
shame
absolutely.
that
It's a great run.
no one cares. It's a shame that no one cares. It's just a bummer. Like, because between the delayed rollout and everybody's just general apathy towards Fear of God at the moment. Although we still see people wear a lot of like essential stuff, so that doesn't seem to be like
Hmm.
a knock on Jerry. But the Adidas partnership just kind of fizzled, and I
Yeah,
don't know who to
it's
blame. I
weird.
don't
It's
know if there's any blame, like, who to lay the blame on, whether it's like everybody, like Adidas not really knowing what to do with it, Jerry taking his time. It's just, it seems like it's an equal partnership blame game, whatever you want to call it. Like everybody seems to be all to blame for kind of what happened,
yeah.
and people just kind of stopped caring, and it's a bummer.
Yeah, it's almost like there's like just a greater fatigue at sneakers in general, and people just don't have time for a lot of things. So unless you're really in like the cultural zeitgeist, I think people are just kind of leaving it behind and not stressing about it. So there was a time, obviously, when Fear of God would, be tearing the streets up. But I think right now that fatigue has just set in with so many different sectors of the sneaker space that it's hard to get excited really about anything. The only thing people still get excited for really is Travis.
Yeah.
And that is, and the argument can be made that that is about resale. But who knows? Maybe Travis is obviously a huge star, but it feels like my opinion is that that's being pushed by the resale market as opposed to the quality of the silhouette and the design. Not that it's bad, but I think there's other factors at play.
Right. And it's interesting too because people will tell you, oh, 20, like we saw it like earlier this year, right? 2025 is the best year of sneakers. It's the best year for releases and all that stuff. And there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of stuff for people to pick up. There's a lot of people, there's a lot of stuff for people to pick up, especially at sale for retail or for less. But yeah, no, the
Yep.
energy just seems to have been sucked dry and just no one seems to care besides the Travis stuff. And occasionally you'll hear, there will be like a release and you'll get like that small pop, but it's definitely not what it was before. And of course, we can
Oh
always
no,
put
not
this,
even close.
we can pin this, a lot of this also on like real world factors. And we all know what we're talking about when we say real world factors. But yeah, it's just a shame that this is gonna just be another interesting note in Adidas's history, and Fear of God's history, and Jerry's history. And I bet you, like, a decade from now, whoever, someone's gonna do like their Throwback Thursday post or throwback whatever post and be like,
Yeah.
"Yo, remember these? These were cooking, man. Yo, y'all were sleeping on these. I got, like, dead stock pairs of these, and y'all are missing out." And it would not
Yeah.
shock me if Fear of God is still an ongoing concern years from now, that people come back to this and they're going to be like, "Oh, remember these were at the outlets? Remember these were on sale and I just picked these up." And once, because everything comes in cycles. Like, there's going to be a day when sneaker culture is going to be back into, like, whatever mainstream you want to call it. And everyone's going to be like, it's the cycle of fashion. It's the cycle of whatever. Right. And people are going to go back and they're going to dig deep and they're going to find, like, these Fear of Gods are going to be like, "Yo, check these out." So
I had
if you,
those. Yeah.
if you have a pair of these, I would just advise to hold on to them, just because, you never know. You never know. But
Yeah.
for now,
But the problem with that is you never know how quickly that cycle is going to come back around. It could be 5 years, could be 10 years, could be 15 years, could be 20 years. You never know.
yeah. Yeah, no, and if you're the type to have that storage unit, yeah, go pay your couple $100 a month to wait for that to wait for that day
To
eventually.
wait,
I
try and
will
make
say
your money
though,
back. Yeah.
it ain't gonna be me. It's probably not gonna be Jacques either. I'll just put it out there right now.
That's
unless
true.
unless we get sent it, it's not gonna be with either one of us. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
All right, so
Sorry.
moving on to our
Sorry.
next thing, Jacques. Speaking of stuff that might be here today and probably gone tomorrow, Joel
Uh-oh.
Embiid, he's got a signature shoe with Skechers, and he's
First of all, that's really rude. That's really rude about Joel.
what?
You
What
gotta
are we
let
talking?
that man
What do you
cook.
mean?
Oh, you saying his
No.
shoe is here today, gone tomorrow? I thought you were saying he was here today, gone tomorrow.
Yeah, man, he's got his second first signature shoe. Remember, he had the
Second
Under
first.
Armour.
Yeah.
This is not a Kobe situation where we're like, "Hey, remember the Adidas Kobe one and the Nike Kobe one?" This is like the
Yeah.
bizarro version of that, where I just realized that this is kind of like the bizarro version. The Superman, he has like this character named Bizarro who's like the opposite of everything
Yeah.
that Superman is. Yeah, no, this is the bizarro version where, like, you've got Kobe with Adidas and Nike, and then Joel Embiid is like Under Armour and Skechers, and you're like, yo, especially the way Under Armour is going right now, this is definitely bizarro
Yeah.
version.
Yeah. I
And yeah,
wonder,
no,
like,
it's
hearing that, I wonder if that's why Joel didn't stay at Under Armour. I wonder if it had something to do with, like, the way things were shifting financially from the company.
interesting. And he left early then, like, if that's the case, because he's been gone for a
Yeah.
minute. He saw the writing on the wall way before Steph Curry did. Like, it'd be funny if, like, if they were at the Olympics, right, and Embiid was telling Steph, like, "Get out. It's
Well, I
sinking
mean,
ship now."
Steph obviously had more invested than Joel
Yeah.
did, so it
hmm
makes sense that he stayed a little longer. But it makes me wonder.
Yeah, no, no, no. See, this is like, again, this is like the bizarro version. Remember what was the Redeem team in 2008, where, like, was it like LeBron, D Wade, and Chris Bosh all got together in that 2008 squad, and they were like, "Yeah, man, let's go
Hmm.
to Miami, let's go team up and all that stuff," right? Again, this is like the bizarro version where, like, Joel Embiid and Steph Curry are talking during the 2024 Olympics, and they're like, "Yeah, man, let's leave Under Armour and we'll go to Skechers."
But
Yeah,
we'll go
that'd
to
be funny, right? And
Skechers.
then, yeah, come to Skechers, right? And I know, I think Embiid was already at Skechers at the time, and Steph Curry's like, "Yeah, man, let's go to Skechers, let's go to Skechers," and then he never comes to Skechers.
Imagine if Steph Curry signs with Skechers. Sneaker world would
Oh
explode.
no!
Just putting it out
Oh
there. I'm
no!
just
I
putting it
think
out there.
that would
Got to get
be
that money.
that really
Do it
is
for the
the
kids,
bizarro
man.
timeline. That's
That's like the Shaq, the full on Shaq approach, where you just you make stuff for the kids.
Yeah,
Anyway,
absolutely.
just putting that out there.
Yeah, Steph, if you're out there listening to this, watching this, please don't. Please. I'm just gonna,
That's funny.
I mean, we'll probably never get that Skechers bag anyway, so screw it. Please don't. don't do it. Don't do it, man. Anyways, the Sketcher, I believe it's called the. Let me look this up. It's called the Skechers SKXJE1. Congrats, Joel
Yes.
Embiid. I mean, it looks like a Skechers shoe. I don't
Looks
really
like
know
a
what to
sketch.
tell you,
Yeah,
man. It's
it looks like a running shoe almost. It almost looks like a
mhm,
running shoe.
yeah,
Um, oh, I kind of like that Kobe Christmas colorway. That's kind of cool.
sure. Like if it
That's
had some
kind of
red on
cool.
it, I think it'd be a lot more interesting, at least from a aesthetic
Yeah,
standpoint.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah,
they
yeah.
didn't go the full Grinch with it. Is kind of what I'm getting at. It's like,
Yeah.
oh well, if that S was red or if the JE logo was red, I guess I could get with that. But I guess then, Nike or someone would be like, you're just ripping off the Grinch Kobe's. And you're like, oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
Kobe had like a trademark on the Grinch colors. you
Mm.
know, it's like weird. But
So,
anyways, yeah,
so
man, like,
look,
oh,
I was gonna say, looking at these, I imagine the ones that are gonna be the most popular is that the greenish Kobe one, the blue and white like Dallas Cowboys slash um Dallas basketball team slash basically anything that happens to be in Dallas has those colorways. The red, white, and gold one has very San Francisco 49ers vibes.
mm,
So they're picking some nice colors. You know, the Mavericks is the blue and white. The green is just Kobe love. And then the other one is the 49ers. Now I don't know about the other ones. I don't know what the other one's gonna do, but
I
I
mean,
could see
that
all
foot,
of those other.
that picture, I'm guessing we're looking at the same picture. There's that one on the far right. That could be like Raiders adjacent, like black and
Yeah,
gray and silver or whatever. But
easy,
commitment to
easy.
excellence and whatnot, as I like to say. Yeah, you were totally ruined that. I mean, it was already ruined for me, but like you had to like dig the hole even deeper by calling it like the Cowboys colorway. Now I imagine that like that Dallas Cowboys starter pack meme where they got the Dak jersey and like the Jordan Flints, the 13s. I imagine this would be
Yep.
like the replacement if you can't find the 13s, right? Like, hey, if you can't find the Jordan 13s, the Flints, you can't find those, we got you. We got you covered, buddy. Some
Right.
Skechers.
Sketch
it's
is
still
going. Ta-da!
basketball. It's still basketball shoes,
It is still basketball. It is still
Yeah,
basketball.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I
totally. Yeah.
imagine, you know,
It,
these
it,
these may be more accessible because they're only $130. And they launched last week. I should go to my local Skechers store and buy a pair. I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go to my Skechers in the mall and see if they have them and buy a pair.
you're gonna do that with a straight face. You're
Yeah,
not
no,
gonna
for real.
just.
I'm gonna go buy a pair.
You're not gonna go there and just be like cackling the whole way through and be like, "Here
No,
you go."
no, because I
I'll
want to
be
try
back
them
in an
out. I
hour. I
want
just
to.
need to do a video. I'll be back in an hour.
I know I'll be back. I'm returning these in just an hour. I want to do an unboxing and return, see how they feel. I bet you they're hella comfortable too.
I don't know if you're being serious or not, but anyways, here's the thing though. Like, you hear good stuff though. Like, you do genuinely hear from people who wear Skechers. There are particular pairs that they feel great. Like, what is it? Those slip-ons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I hear people who wear them. Your aunties who wears them. They say good things, and you're like, who am I to doubt the word of an
Yeah, right.
aunt? Like, unless
Of
you
an
get
aunt.
slapped in the face for saying like, why would you like, dare say, your shoes are eh. But yeah, that if it
I mean,
works for them.
They get a bad rap. But part of it is their fault because they just copy people essentially. So
Mm-hmm,
part of it is their fault.
mm-hmm,
But they do get a bit of a bad rap. Because funny enough, they were the ones that invented like the nitro cushioning tech. It was Skechers pushed to get that done because they were trying to find their version of Boost,
right.
but they ended up not using it. But now all the other brands use nitro infused foam
Mm-hmm,
for their shoes, from Brooks to Puma to what's the other brand? I forgot the other brand. There's another brand that uses it. Anta, they use a version of it. It's all like
mm-hmm.
nitro infused foam, which is kind of like the industry response to BASF, Adidas, and Boost.
Yeah.
It's very interesting. But Skechers led that, I think, that research team, or they were the team that paid for it or pushed for it or something like that. And then they end up not even really using it, but all the other brands do. It's just random fun fact for the people that are keeping score.
Yeah, and that's the reality of it is like, and the reality is like Skechers, they do have nice looking sneakers and at affordable price points, and that definitely serves a purpose. It's more
Hmm.
about their inability to get out of their own ways at times, right? Like they just like to just step on the rake and just, do self-owns, self-inflicted wounds, right? Like whether it's with
Yes.
design or with their marketing sometimes. A lot of it is like kind of on them. So, I mean, and the reality is if they turned it around, we wouldn't be making the
Yep.
jokes. Like we are the first people to kind of like, and we don't ever take it like so far. So like, trash them or anything like that. It's more just like playful jokes. And if they just turn it around, there's no reason for us to like, make these similar jokes. Like if they turn it around, good on them. So,
Hmm.
but it ain't gonna be with this one, man. Like the design's just not there. It's just not it's just unappealing. It's just I have nothing for it. Hopefully, it's comfortable as hell though, because if it is comfortable as hell, then you tell me you come back to me and tell me like, hey man, these are actually pretty good. You
Hey
can
man, you
see
got
me
to
like
get you some of these, dog.
yeah, you
Got
gotta
to
give me
get you
some of
some of
these,
these,
man. Like yeah,
dog.
man, yeah, absolutely, man, absolutely, absolutely. When do they go on sale? When do they go on clearance? Like I'll be there. I'll be there when that
I know,
happens.
right? That's the thing.
Because
I mean,
Skechers,
it's
they're quick.
130.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're quick to go on sale. That's the thing about Skechers is like, you just wait a couple
Hmm.
weeks, wait a couple months, you just go to the outlet store. They go on sale pretty quick. So yeah, but again, shout out to Joel Embiid, second first signature shoe. He's in a very rare class with Kobe.
Very rare.
Yeah. And I'm sure KG, because he had the Nikes, the Adidas. Oh, KG actually might be. I think he had like Nike, Adidas, and what Chinese brand did he sign with? Was it Anta?
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. KG
Now that I
did.
think about
KG
it.
was all over the place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So KG might actually be like the guy who has like the record from. This is actually probably going to be like an interesting to look up. Is like who has the record for most first signature shoes? It's like,
Oh yeah.
it, it might be
Did
KG.
KG did KG actually have signature shoes
Uh,
everywhere?
he did a Nike. He definitely had a Nike Garnet. He had, I don't know if he technically had any at Adidas, but I know he had it at Anta or no, it was Anta. But and then he was with it N1 for like a second, but I don't know if they actually made Garnet signature shoes at N1. But if
Hmm.
I had to make a bet as to who would be the one who would have the most like first signature shoes, it'd probably be KG, just because he went to different brands throughout his entire career. Um, but yeah, no, shout out to
Hmm.
Joel Embiid, and hopefully this he'll get a JE too because he never got a Embiid two with Under
Got
Armour.
an Embiid too. Yeah, and
Yeah,
he
I
was
think
there
he
for
wore
what?
the
He
Embiid
was
one for he wore
three
it for like a
years.
minute, huh?
Yeah, it was like 2 to 3 years, right?
Yeah, something like
Maybe even
that.
more than
And
that.
wait, is Joel Embiid actually like the forefather of the signature shoes lasting more than one season? Ah, think about it. Think
Oh,
about it.
well,
Anthony
I mean, I
Edwards.
guess if he never got a two, then yeah, I guess so.
If you want to look at it that way.
Yeah,
Even when we try to compliment, we always end up with the jokes. But anyways, shout out to Joel Embiid, shout out to Skechers. Hope it we wish you well. We wish you well. I guess we'll just put it
we
that
do
way.
wish you well. We do wish
We
you
do
well. I'm
wish
gonna
you
go
well.
buy some Skechers. I'm gonna go buy a pair, see how they feel.
Okay.
I am seriously. I'm gonna go buy a pair, see how they feel.
Sure, sure. You tell yourself that. Anyways, we are almost at the end of the show, Jacques. But before we go, it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus time.
Ooh,
Pew, pew, pew,
ooh.
pew, pew, pew. Shout out to all the people who responded and voted for that last couple of Mount Rushmores we did. Holy crap, that one where the you had to be there unlocked a lot of people's like memories. I was like,
Yeah, yeah, it
damn.
was cool.
Got a lot of people
It
talking
was
about
cool.
that
Got a
one. I
lot of
got
good.
killed in the poll, but it was worth it for that one because a lot of people had a
It
lot
was
of great
worth it.
memories of that one. Because I gotta say though, I feel like we did really well with the first picks. What was like the Roshi and the NMD? That seems to be
Yeah,
absolutely the you had to be there to understand how huge these two particular sneakers were at the moment. Because
yeah.
man, like people were like, yo, man, I had like X amount of pairs, or, they were trash, or they were like, yo, I remember I was outside for those, and they were definitely like a moment kind of sneakers. So, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm glad it got a lot of responses out of that one. And of course, there's also the people like, oh, you forgot about this one. You forgot about the Ultra Boost, and you forgot about so-and-so. And I'm like, yeah, there's only 5 spots. We can only do
Right.
so much, people. You know?
Yeah.
And also the N64 one also got a lot of responses. I kind of figured that would be the case because, N64 is
Yeah.
pretty
That
much
was a
like in
good
our
one.
age range in terms of like, people having that nostalgia hit. So
Yeah.
shout out to that. But yeah, for today's Sneaker Mount Rushmore Plus, we are going to do, in honor of Joel Embiid's Skechers XKXJE1, I feel like that's the right word. We're going to do the forgotten signature shoe Mount Rushmore Plus, which is in no way indicative of what we think is going to happen with Skechers Joel Embiid's signature shoe. Anyways,
Right. True.
the category for this one
True.
is, hey, remember that guy had a signature shoe? Is basically what this
Yeah.
Rushmore is. So we went through, did a couple quick research on the internet, and found some pieces where we're like, these guys did have signature shoes. So, kind of similar format, just 5 rounds, and then we'll just alternate. You went first last week, so
Yes.
I'll try to do the honors this week. And just to make sure that it gets picked, because I'm pretty sure you're never going to pick this one. For my first pick for the Forgotten Signature Shoe Mount Rushmore Plus, I'm going to go with the Grosby Black Supermans in honor of PBA, Philippine Basketball Association, imports superstar Billy Ray Bates.
Okay.
He was
I like that.
a cult classic. He was a cult hero player for the Portland Trail Blazers, I believe, like in the late 70s. And it was part of like, the drug-addled NBA era. And
The drug-addled NBA era.
he made
That's
his way to
funny.
the Philippines. And he became the hero that is known as Black Superman. You could take a wild guess why he was called Black Superman, but he is basically averaging 50, 60 something points a game back home in the Philippines,
Oh wow, he's
dunking,
balling.
just being like, just one of the all-time greats. He's a legend back home. And Grosby, which I believe is like an Australian-owned brand or something, they made him signature shoes, and they called it the Black Supermans because, of course, they're going to call it the Black Supermans. And it's back in the Philippines as the 80s. DC Comics, probably Warner Brothers, whoever owns the rights, probably wasn't going to go get their ass. But it did have the Superman logos on them. But, it's a fun little
That's all right.
factoid. But shout out to my shout out to my Filipino fans out there
My
who
Filipino
love.
fans out there.
Yeah, man.
That's a
Shout
dope
out to
one.
Billy Ray Bates. I'm sure. No, he's still around. He's still around. I believe like he's probably done some things with the Blazers recently or whatever. But
Oh
yeah,
really?
man.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look him up.
Yeah. Like he may have done like some throwback nights or whatever. And I think he's come back to the Philippines like recently or like maybe pre-pandemic, but like just to be like honored or whatever. But yeah, man. Shout out to
That's
Billy Ray
dope.
Bates. Hopefully I don't
Billy Ray
Google
Bates,
something
the
now and be
man,
like,
the myth,
oops,
the
maybe I should
legend.
retract everything I just said. But anyway.
Yeah. I know, right? He's like,
Yeah.
wait, he did what?
You did what?
To
Oh
who?
no. He has how many kids back home? Oh shoot.
Right. That's
Anyways, you are next up, good sir.
So mine, I have an interesting one
Yeah.
that I don't think a lot of people talk about. I'm gonna go with Rob Dyrdek's DC shoes for my
Oh,
pick.
interesting.
Because I don't think a lot of people, he was with DC. He was with DC. I think he was with it for 20 years,
Uh-huh.
but like we never talk about that when we talk about signature shoes. I think he had 29 signature shoes with the brand, 29 or 30 signature shoes
Wow.
with DC, but no one ever talks about him when they talk about signature shoes. I mean, obviously because it's skate and we mostly talk about basketball, but
Right.
when it comes to like forgotten shoes, like he might be the most forgotten that was like cooking and no one even like paid him any attention. So shout out to Rob Dyrdek.
Wait, he was the host of
For
Ridiculous, right?
Yeah, the
on
whole
MTV.
ridiculousness.
You would
Yeah.
think, like, considering that was playing on MTV 24 hours a day for like a decade, like close to like a decade, people would know about it. But you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. You
Yeah.
probably didn't get to hear about it. But anyways, continue.
All right, and then for my second pick, I'm going to go with the Converse No Limit MP for Master P. Shout out to Master P. Shout out to Master P. Yeah, let him know. Let him know. I love it. Super cool. I
Oh
never
my
owned a
God.
pair, but I just remembered it was a thing.
Fun fact, Master P recently did like a deal with Panini, the trading card company. And he has some autographed trading cards because people forget that he actually tried out for the NBA and actually made like their preseason teams. I believe it was like the Raptors and the Hornets. So
Yeah.
they actually released trading cards where he signed them and he's in his Raptors jersey. And they kind of go for a pretty penny online. And I'm like, yeah, that
Do
sounds
they
about right.
really?
Well, I mean, it's like $100,
That's
but still,
cool.
I mean, considering
I mean,
like,
that's a good amount.
yeah, I mean, like,
Considering
it could just be some random, like, no name player. And, instead it's
yeah.
Master P. And some guy who never actually made the league was on a preseason squad, right? That would probably go for like pennies if it was like just some player that nobody
Yeah.
ever heard of. But because it's Master P, it goes for $100. And it's like, hey, that's one of those things I would just like to buy. Just be like, this is a fun little, piece of history, right? It's like,
Yeah, that's
Master
a fun little
P.
thing to have, just to have. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good one.
And
That's a
apparently he
good
was
one.
legit. Apparently he was like legit enough to actually make like it was less of a joke and more like, no, he was actually good enough to make the preseason team.
Yeah.
So,
If you see some of the clips, like he could play.
Yeah.
Like he could play for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing with 2 Chainz too, is I didn't even know he was actually a hooper. He actually played D1 ball, and that's why you have that connection with his son and the Zellerfeld thing. So I'm like, oh, 2 Chainz was actually a hooper. That's pretty cool. But yeah, no. 2 Chainz. What did he want for his birthday again? Oh wait, I don't know if we can say that.
Yeah, we all right. Well, moving on.
Moving on. For my next pick for Forgotten Signature Shoes, I'm going to go with the Ontario Mills staple, the Nautica Glen Rice's. The outlet staple.
Okay.
Because shout out to Glen Rice, who I believe was with the Lakers for what, like a season or two, helped us win that first of the Kobe three-peat, the Shaq three-peat championship. But yeah, man, like he was here for a quick minute, but he also had a signature shoe line with of all of the brands, Nautica, the brand that you go when you need a windbreaker or when you need like something to wear when you're going by the beach
on a boat
or on a
boat.
On a boat. Yeah, boat shoes. You want boat shoes, you go to Nautica. You want basketball shoes, we got them too. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Glen Rice. Of all the people too, it's like, yeah, man, sharpshooter, pretty good, like, pretty good hooper as well, like all-star, NBA champion, had a signature line with Nautica. So yeah, that's I cannot believe that was a thing. That was a thing that actually happened, man. So yeah, shout out to Glen Rice. For my next pick though, for Forgotten Signature Shoes, I'm going to go with one of the co-hosts of the All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson. I believe Steven Jackson actually had a signature shoe with this brand called Protege, which I vaguely remember during like the late 2000s. It was like a budget brand. I believe it was like, oh, what player was it? Oh, it was Al Harrington. It was actually like a player-owned brand, Al Harrington, and he wanted to release like these budget shoes. I believe it was kind of like the Starberry stuff where it was like $20-$30. It was like very affordable. And he had Steven Jackson, and they made this shoe called the Protege Stack Jack. And it's notable because Steven Jackson is on record talking about how bad these shoes were and that Michael Jordan felt so bad for Steven Jackson's really bad Protege shoes that he signed the Jordan brand. Like,
wow.
It's like, wow. Yeah, so that's why it's very memorable to me. But I didn't know that these Protege shoes were actually Steven Jackson's signature shoes. So yeah, that's an interesting footnote that Captain Jack had signature shoes, and they were apparently so bad that Michael Jordan got him a Jordan deal. I believe that's
it.
Yeah. So
I need to go find MJ and some raggedy shoes.
Yeah. Shout out to Al Harrington for getting Steven Jackson a Jordan deal? Question mark? But anyways,
right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a good
Yeah.
one. For mine, I'm gonna go with Brandon Jennings, his Micro G from Under Armour, the Steph Curry before Steph Curry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
As far as Under Armour goes, he had a signature shoe deal with Steph, and from what I understand, he helped bring Steph over to the brand. So, and the shoes were good too. Like the shoes were legit balling shoes. So for those that that only see Steph when they think of Under Armour, like Brandon Jennings was the guy before Steph was the guy over there at Under Armour and made things happen. So shout out to him. Very good shoe. I remember I actually played in those before, so I can vouch that they were legit basketball shoes. And then I'm gonna go back a little bit and go with and ones for Stephon Marbury, young Marbury
Yep.
man, before he started selling his own shoes. He was with and one. And I think I had a pair of those as a little kid
Oh, cool.
as well. Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Starbury.
Yeah, awesome.
Starbury.
Starbear. Star Child. I remember like those old slam covers with like him and KG are like, oh man, these are gonna be like the modern day like dynamic duos, and then they lasted like a season or two or whatever.
Yeah.
It didn't work out. Oh, it's
Can
a
only
bit of a
dream.
bummer. Yeah. Anyways, so for my next pick, I'm going to go with I would say like a forgotten Jordan Brand athlete. I'm gonna go with Vin Baker.
Oh.
People remember Eddie Jones,
Okay.
people remember Ray Allen, people remember Randy Moss, and they all had, signature shoes, signature adjacent, shoes with Jordan Brand.
Yeah.
Like, Eddie Jones had like the Quick Six, the Jumpman Pro Quicks, those kinds of things. And then Randy Moss had the Super Freaks, the Mossifieds and all that stuff. But people have fond memories of those. Vin Baker doesn't get mentioned as much in comparison to those other two.
No.
But he also
Yeah.
had a signature line, and it was called like the Jordan Jumpman Vindicate, which I don't know. I look at it now, I'm like, oh, these are pretty neat, and I'm kind of sad that they've never retroed it, or maybe they did retro it and I just forgot about it. But yeah, man, shout out to Vin Baker. He was like the OG big man of Jordan Brand, and for a while there, he was actually pretty good, pretty good, as a hooper and everything.
Pretty good.
Yeah, man. Like, was it like the Bucks, the Sonics, and then. Yeah, no, shout out to Vin Baker. So that Jumpman Vindicate, like, just wanted to give a shout out to that. And then for my last pick for the forgotten signature shoes, I'm going to go with one of my favorite players of all time, Alonzo Mourning, the Nike Air Alonzo. They look like work boots. They're terrible looking shoes. Let's be quite honest. They are, I don't want to say ugly as sin, but they look like, basically these are ass kicking shoes. Like you wear this shoe because you want to fight somebody. Like you want to get into a fight with somebody and you need like the most stable, like workman-like boots looking shoes. Like you just ready to throw. This looks like the shoes that you look like when you're about to like, yeah, you look like you're about to go to like a fight, a brawl or something. Like you go to like a bar, you want to pick a fight, just wear these shoes. Like that's what they look like.
Yeah.
But it fit Lonzo Mourning's, rugged style. He was definitely like, because when I was a kid, everybody loved Shaq. Shaq was like, the guy everybody loved. And I was always like the kind of like the contrarian a-hole as a kid. So I was like, everybody likes Shaq. And I'm going to go with like Alonzo Mourning because, he had the cool flat top. He wore the Charlotte Hornets, cool, uniforms and everything, teal and purple. Loved those. So that was my guy during like the 90s. But his signature shoes were just, oh man, these are terrible, Kenny.
Yeah, actually very terrible.
Very terrible, Kenny. Very terrible. But yeah, no, I had to give a shout out though. The Nike Air Alonzo. I've had like an opportunity to buy those, but then every time I look at it, I'm like, do I really want to?
Yeah. All right, so I have what, one more, right?
Yeah, one more.
So I have one more. I'm gonna go with John Wall. He had the Reebok before he went to Adidas. He had Reebok. So John Wall, and then when he was at Adidas, he had a shoe. And now I think he's the most. I think not now, but he wore Nikes.
Mm-hmm.
So he went from Reebok to Adidas to Nike.
Mm-hmm.
Although he didn't have a signature shoe at Nike, he just wore Nikes. Yeah. But he had a signature shoe at Reebok and Adidas. He was wearing the Zig Tech, which was what it was. But It was what it was.
It was what
They
it
were
was.
pushing it. They were pushing it hard. That's like one of those
Ah.
obscure, forgotten. Well, I mean, I guess not really gonna say forgotten text, but you still see it in like Reebok training shoes these days.
Yep. Mhm.
So it's not. It hasn't been forgotten. It's still a thing. But it just feels like it was something from so long ago because that was what, like 2010, 2011 or something like that
Yeah.
when he was with Reebok. It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Anyway, yeah. So John Wall
It's a
and his Zig Tex and his Adidas, I guess I should say.
man. Remember when people thought like, that was going to be like the successor to Allen Iverson? John Wall supposed to be that guy who was like following in the footsteps of AI.
Yeah.
We were young once.
I mean, he was balling. He was that dude. He was
He was.
that dude.
He got the
He
Wizards to the
was.
second round, and I believe that was about the height of the John Wall. I know this because I'm a huge fan of like the PTI guys, Michael Wilbon and Tony Kornheiser, and Kornheiser just loves to rag on John Wall in a playful way. I think it's less more of a playful way, but it's like, yeah, man, like he was always a big fan of like that era, like the goofy like John Wall, Gilbert Arenas kind of era of Wizards. But yeah, man, John Wall, he did the Dougie.
He did the
That was
Dougie.
the
He
thing.
did the Dougie, and I
He
think
did the
he
Dougie.
retired. Is he? Does he retires after
Yeah,
this
yeah.
season? He retired last season, right?
Like a season
Or
or
is it
two
this
ago,
season?
yeah, I believe so. But yeah, man, like
Yeah.
it was a bummer though, like because he was definitely like one of those like fun players to watch, especially like at the height of his athleticism. Was just like, damn, man, just super quick, super athletic. Just injuries kind of robbed him of like all of that explosiveness. But yeah, man, it's one of those what could have beens. But yeah, and he's another guy with two first signature shoes. He had a signature shoe at Reebok and also with Adidas.
And
So,
also with Adidas, yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to him, following in the footsteps. Joel Embiid is the following in the footsteps of John Wall.
Of John Wall, who was following the footsteps of Kobe Bryant.
Yeah, exactly. Whoa.
And
so
I'm
we go
sure
from Adidas.
who actually was following in the steps of KG.
Yeah, exactly.
Who was, yeah, it goes back. It goes back.
We can keep going back with this. Anyways, everything comes back to Black Superman, Billy Ray Bates. Anyways,
obviously.
Look, man, it's the 80s and it's the Philippines and they don't care about that kind of stuff. They're just like, let's call him Black Superman. Why not?
Black
You're
Superman.
like, oh no,
Why not?
oh no. On behalf,
it works.
We apologize. Well, okay, I don't know if I can speak for all Filipinos, but I'm sorry, man.
No need to apologize. No, hey, it is what it is.
Oh boy. Anyways,
what a time.
What a time. That was episode 66 of the Too Hard to Pass podcast. Again, I'm your co-host Juan Martinez and Jacques Slade with the shameless plugs.
I am Jacques Slade. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed today's show. I told you if you're a sneaker guy or gal or interested or curious that it was going to be a good episode for you. So we hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave us a good review. Make sure you leave a comment. Let us know how you felt about the show, if there's something we missed. And let us know what is your favorite forgotten signature shoe that didn't make it on this list. If you want to shoot us an email, it's toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. That's toohardtopasspodcast@gmail.com. The number 2. I'm Jacques Slade. That's Juan. And we'll see you guys next week. Peace.
We out.